You are now listening to the podcast for geeks and the stuff they love, where each week we'll talk about everything from anime to movies, games, and prop collecting with the people who create and love it. I'm Jeromy.
I'm Vinz.
I'm James.
And this is your Geek Fix.
Welkom, prinses. Deze ontsnapping zal u duur komen te staan. Breng haar weg, nu.
All
It's
right.
so cringe in Dutch.
It's crazy. So what you just heard was our last guest, Joost Assink, doing Darth Vader in an outfit that Darth Vader outfit is one that he made himself, actually. Yeah, here's his outfit right here.
Nice,
and that's him wearing it too.
Oh, wow.
But he's pretty proud of that too. But
Yeah,
He
I
should
reckon.
be.
yeah, so you might have heard him in, if you listened to or watched our podcast with Joost, you heard him do an intro or an outro. I can't remember if it's the intro or outro that I used. He did a
Both,
few.
I think.
He tried a few for us.
I should do my Darth Vader. I used to be Darth Vader, right?
So that's why he did kind of a funny voice for that one.
This is your Geek Fix.
That was a lot of fun, wasn't it, Vince? It was a pretty good time. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
But it's of course weird to see English stuff in Dutch.
yeah.
But I have a whole story about that to tell later on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's this? Why later on?
Oh yeah.
What
I
are
don't
you
know.
talking?
But I have a cool story to tell about that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I hooked up with. I'm part of the Dutch Ghostbusters cosplay group, Ghostbusters.
Oh, yeah.
And one of our colleagues in Germany, those are like the real actual prop and set builders that are professional grade set builders and do a lot of cool stands in the conventions and all that kind of stuff. So they have like a sort of Ghostbusters escape room and all that kind of stuff. And one of the latest things they did was they got the because in Germany the movies were dubbed over in German.
Right.
So they got the German voice actor for Ray Stantz, or Dan Aykroyd, so to say, to work with them to have a sort of interactive experience with a ghostbusting stand, so that you would get calls from Ray Stantz telling you where to go and what to do and how to handle
That's
stuff.
pretty cool.
Right.
Yes. So I thought, well, hey, we have Dutch Ghostbuster voices as well. But those were for the real Ghostbusters, so the real Ghostbusters cartoon. So I basically reverse engineered some cell frames from the real Ghostbusters, and managed to get Egon to talk whenever you use your voice. It will react to the microphone. And in the meantime, I contacted the voice of the Dutch Egon Spangler for the real Ghostbusters to ask if he would help assist us with making a sort of introduction movie for the Dutch Ghostbusters in the real Ghostbuster style with Egon Spangler.
Right.
And that basically brought me down a rabbit hole because not too long ago I spoke with him. He was very enthusiastic. He wants to help out the voice actor. But he also says he had some VHS tapes lying around of the cartoons being dubbed in Dutch, because they were never released after they got released live, basically. And the original tapes, we knew where they were. So one of the voices who did Ray Stantz, the Dutch Ray Stantz, that guy was owner of the dubbing studio. And he had the tapes, but he has them. He donated them to a museum for picture and sound in the Netherlands. And they are very ancient tapes. So also the rights holder.
Yeah, is it VHS basic, or are we talking other format? Oh, reel to
real 1-inch tapes.
Oh, the audio tapes.
No,
is that what you're saying?
That's the trick. That's the trick. Because you have to have them synced with the dub. You need to. They basically have one track, like it's a 1-inch tape, and like there are 3 tracks for the sound effects, for the music, and for the voice.
Right.
And then there's a track for the video. And basically that I found out because I contacted the guy who owned the studio and asked him if he still had the tapes. He said, well, first of all, I'm only the rights holder for the dub and not for the video.
Right.
Second of all, those are intertwined, so you can never get just the dub or the video because they are on the same tapes. Third of all, those tapes are ancient, so there aren't any ways to digitize them that I know of because they need a big reel-to-reel equipment that they might have at the museum where they are right now, but that's going to be very prohibitively expensive.
Right.
And fourthly, the rights holders of those pictures might not like you using that kind of stuff.
I'm trying to think. You said Sony. That's Sony, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he doesn't know because they changed hands a lot of times now. So who owns the real Ghostbusters? I don't know. But the thing is, though, he was pretty apprehensive of going.
It's just for kids. It's
well, there was the thing. The Dutch dub actually has some pretty crass jokes in there.
Really?
Yeah. So, and that's the reason why I want to find them again. Because what they did is the people who were dubbing them, they were like pretty, well, they weren't amateurs, but they found a way to make it very cheap to dub cartoons. So because normally when you make a cartoon, it is the audio track first, then the animation of the mouth, and then that's how it goes. So when people are dubbing, they tend to look at the mouth movements and try to make words in Dutch, for example, that match the mouth movements. Yeah. So what the guy dubbing did was he said, well, I don't need the video because I know that as long as we are in sync with the audio, the mouse will animate the way they animate, and those kids will never look that closely to the mouth. So we can do a lot of that. They did like 144 cartoons.
Wow, really?
Yeah, like the raccoons, David the Gnome, Simpsons even.
Yeah.
So they did all that just by doing the audio tracks. But the fun thing about that was that they there was a television show for kids. They aired the episodes, and they would always cut off the end of the credits. But that's where their names were in. So what they did is they talked over the credits with some weird jokes and some other stuff that didn't really do anything with the episode, just to make sure that the audio technician couldn't cut off the tape, so because it was linked to the video. So they had to keep showing the credits because they were talking over it. So then the actual people dubbing the actual episodes of the real Ghostbusters and DuckTales also started to talk over the credits as well, the way the Dutch people did, because they really liked that, the off-the-cuff kind of things.
Right.
And the guy playing Venkman actually found out that the kids show that was doing that had like segments, and they would record in the morning, and then they would put in, now the Ghostbusters are gonna do something.
So, quick question on that: did the Venkman, the guy that did Venkman in the Dutch version, did he also do the Dutch Garfield?
No, I don't know. He might. Yeah. But the fun thing is he did act as a Venkman because what he did is the Dutch guy, he knew that they were having like an introduction cut, then the Ghostbusters would go, and then the lady, the presenter would talk about, those were some nice adventures from Ghostbusters. Let's return to the. So he knew that. So he said her name was Irene. So he says. In the credits, he said, "Hey, Irene, if you really love me, Peter Venkman, then you just act like normal and present your show as if nothing happened." And then they cut to the Ghostbusters. She was there like, "Yeah, the good adventures from the Ghostbusters." So as if nothing happened. So they managed to do that. And also the lady who voiced Slimer, she apparently passed away, unfortunately. But whenever there was a live episode of that kids show, they would tend to call in, and she would go all Slimer on the phone.
Oh, really?
saying that they had to turn on Ghostbusters and that kind of stuff. So there's a pretty. I mean, it's kind of lost media because it's not because it's in a museum, but it's not available for the public. So I'm now trying to figure out either if I can digitize the tapes that the guy doing Egon has. I'll do that anyways, I guess, for my own private use. But I also contacted the director of the museum, saying, hey, next year is going to be the 40th anniversary of the Ghostbusters. You have some very important, or at least very unique tapes in your possession. Maybe we could do like a collab with the Ghostbusters NL, and we can run around and do do a walking act while you show those tapes, and we can have like still an event going on. So that's what we're trying to find out now. I'm still waiting for a reaction. But it's pretty fun to actually have those people on the phone, and they are the voices from your past, so to say. They are, and then you actually get to talk to them. And the guy doing Egon is going to visit me in September because he was, first of all, very impressed with all the stuff that I had lying around, Ghostbusters-wise. And he had 3 daughters, so he's like, I could never give my hobbies to my kids, but I'll just stop by, I'll deliver the VHS tapes, we'll talk a bit, and we might get inspired playing with the Ghostbusters toys.
Wow. Well, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So what do the other members of your group think about all this?
Well, initially, because some of them are like diehard English dub forever, so sort of like I mean, I wanted to do a Dutch introduction by the Dutch Eagle Spangler for our stand. So I have like this rugged suitcase that I had. I would put that introduction video on there. And one of the guys says, but can't you just do him another character? Can't you give him something else? I'm like, but I mean, he's the Dutch Eagle Spangler. You're not going to give him someone else's voice or a different character. But he said, but they are the American Ghostbusters. But then I found out that, and that's because it's so obscure, the guy who does the voice of Egon actually translated the script from English to Dutch.
Oh,
and to come back to the fact that they didn't see the video because they only did the audio syncing, the guy took some liberties with the script, and while it was like, the ghost is on the World Trade Center, they would say it's like a tower in Amsterdam or something, and New York was also called Amsterdam. So he localized it, unwittingly knowing that the fact that the video doesn't even match up with the thing that they're saying. So like, Central Park is going to be he's in the Amsterdam Park, and that kind of
stuff.
Like
funny,
local.
Yeah.
So
New York. It said signs actually say New York, Statue of Liberty in the background, but
welcome to Amsterdam, guys. It was all like that. So I told the guy who was a bit apprehensive about it. I said, well,
our Germans always trying to.
I've been meaning to look at the Amsterdam
World Trade Center. Yeah, I believe we have one actually. So But there was the fun thing. So I told him, well, actually, technically, if you listen to the dub, which we can't because it's not available digitally, but they did, kind of Dutch wash it and make it like they were the Dutch Ghostbusters. They added a lot of culture. They added a lot of jokes that weren't in the original. So sometimes even when people weren't talking, like the lady who did Slimer started making a lot of noise, and then some guy would say, "Shut up, Slimer!" in between, even though it wasn't
not in the cartoon.
No, exactly.
That is worth. So, are you guys planning on? Could you do it? I mean, because of the copyright stuff.
Yeah.
If you didn't do it, if you didn't monetize it, I mean, you guys thought about putting it on.
Well, I was thinking that if we could get the dub separate, like only the audio, because they are the rights holders for the audio.
Right. Yeah.
Then you could basically say buy the Blu-ray and switch the audio track, and now you have it in Dutch, I guess.
You do have I don't know if you know, like you can download that you can actually put tracks from subtitles to actual audio tracks that people download, and then it does sync up using VLC. And so but you have to code it when you upload it so it knows when they put it together how to put it together.
You have to sync it.
There's programs for doing that, and so I mean, you could. You're right.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool.
The guy owning the rights and owning the tapes for having it lent to the museum, he rightfully said, "Well, I don't want to have anything to do with this because it's a legal minefield."
If somebody came after him, as far as he's concerned, you just got it from the museum.
But he says, I mean, if you want to digitize it, I'll ask the museum and I'll do that and I'll look into it.
Wow.
But it's going to cost a lot of money, and you have to make sure everything is legal. I have no intention of being like a publisher of like a Dutch dub or anything.
Right.
For me, it was just very curious on how, what it was. So
it's a fun thing to see.
Yeah.
I wonder if the museum though would be. I mean, if you're willing to put in the effort, or in your group's willing to, contribute a little bit of time. If they would be willing to do some stuff just to have it playing live or playing here where I am, Kool-Aid started here. I don't know if you guys even know what Kool-Aid is, but
Yeah, now the guy just breaks through the podcast.
Kool-Aid
man.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah! All right, yeah. But here, so and today is Kool-Aid Days. So they actually have like a
wow.
but they have a museum here, and then in the museum they have videos playing that you can watch all day long that have all the commercials by the monkeys and stuff like that because they did a commercial for it. But I mean, like, I wonder if the museum there would want a something like that.
That's what I asked them that if they could do a collab, that if we would do a walk-in, and in the sense of the anniversary, like the 40th anniversary, that they could show those tapes maybe.
But certainly bring people in.
Yeah.
Well, maybe 5 people, I guess. I don't know how many people would care for the jobs.
I bet you there's people that would be really. It seems like you guys have a good fan base there for a lot of things. I mean, that's what Yost kind of pointed out, was the fact that you can't underestimate your fan base, but you got to reach out to them. Yeah.
So it's a bit of a I mean, I just had on a Saturday I was like, I don't know, having breakfast. So I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I could contact there must be some Dutch voice actors out there.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, why not do it? I mean, just contact them via LinkedIn. I got a free premium trial for a month, and I'm just poking
LinkedIn.
Voice actors left and right, saying, hey, you were the voice actor on this. And I'm the guy from the Ghostbusters group. We can collab, if you're interested.
Right.
So my dream is to get all 4 main characters in a cafe somewhere and have them talk about the good old times, maybe with a camera on them.
Wow.
That would be great.
And Slimer, only in spirit, will be there.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate, but I mean, I read today that one of the German voice actors passed away as well.
Oh, really?
Well, actually, today or like recently?
I think today or yesterday they passed away.
What?
Yeah, but it's sad. But you have to think
real
about it.
recent.
It's 33 years ago, somewhere around that. I mean,
that's weird.
I wasn't even born. Well, it was longer, I guess. 84 is when the movie came out.
I wasn't even thought of.
No, same here.
I was 20. No, I wasn't 20. I was a little less than 20. I think I was what would it have been, like 17 or something like that. Although, but yeah, I was. I mean, that's kind of proof that when you're a geek, you still watch cartoons. I would have been graduating, probably my senior year of high school or graduating high school when that show first came on.
Yeah.
But, there was, the thing about that was, you guys know the story of why they had to call it the real Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah.
You guys, yeah.
No, I do, because I'm a big ghost head. So.
Well, I mean, there used to be...
if you didn't.
There was a car... Well, so, I mean, to really go back to the beginning, there used to be an actual comic book, and the comic book was called the Ghostbusters, and then there was a couple things back in the day, starting in the 20s, and then up to, like, Abbott and Costello time, there was several movies that they made based on that comic, which is where the ape comes in. Because then there was another comic set that had the ape and things. And so then, of course, there was a Ghostbusters cartoon that came out, which was kind of an updated version of that. And it was called just plain old Ghostbusters, playing off of the fact that they probably owned the rights to it at that point in time to do cartoon. But then that meant that the Ghostbusters, so the actual group that makes the other version of the Ghostbusters, couldn't turn one out with that same name, so then they called it the real, which is kind of a stab, really. Well, we're the real Ghostbusters. And so I remember when the other one came out, and I was like, this is a weird show. And then, the real Ghostbusters came on, and it was, honestly, a lot of the storylines in that were pretty darn good. One of our episodes that we did, I think we talked about, was it one of the episodes, or was it just you and I? We were talking about the fact that the idea of like basically an alternate universe where the ghosts are the ones that are actually trying to bust humans. Yeah. And there's like an alternate universe Ghostbusters, and then I think it was you, Vince, that pointed out, and you're like, there was that was in the real Ghostbusters. It's like, I remember that episode. But then there was the follow-up after that. What was the one called where it still had the Ghostbusters in it, but it was the younger. They had like weird hairstyles and stuff.
Extreme Ghostbusters.
Yeah, Extreme Ghostbusters.
Oh, Extreme.
I don't like that one.
Extreme.
Yeah.
It was the 90s
with the
Ghostbusters. Yeah.
Because everything had an X. This is around late 90s. I think somewhere early 90s.
It was pretty diverse also because you had a guy in a wheelchair and a girl. And,
That's right.
And Egon had a ponytail because he was cool now.
And he was older. Yeah, he was supposed to be really old.
I haven't watched that because it was I wasn't totally not interested at all in Ghostbusters back then.
It was that great.
But they did a comic, like IDW did a comic series about Ghostbusters that crossovers with the Turtles and with Transformers and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And that was pretty fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks cool.
The art style took me a while to get used to because it was a very stylized art style. Like the faces looked very, very characterized. But it was pretty cool. And they expanded on the lore also with having different franchises and all that. And I think that's what's going to happen either way with the franchises. I mean, that's going to be part of the story that there are going to be multiple Ghostbusters franchises.
As long as we're talking Ghostbusters, Vince, tell us a little bit about this stuff.
Which stuff?
Can you see it?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I could show you right away. Until it
really? You can
down.
show us the hard copy stuff?
Yeah. It's next to me. It's almost the same shot.
Very exciting. Okay.
No, that is proper hardware.
That's proper hardware.
Oh, look, it looks okay. There it is.
So I had this battery first, but then after building it didn't fit.
Oh.
So I had to buy another battery, which is still in here, which is a bit smaller. So
it looks great though. Did you cut those parts at work? The metal parts?
Part of it because I did the.
Not at liberty to say.
No,
maybe.
It's all legal. Well, this is 3D printed that I painted because my drill wasn't straight enough and I couldn't cut through the aluminum. Like with the holes were too small. So like this part is aluminum, this part is painted plastic. And it's a pretty complex build, as you can see.
I've always got to be aware of the fact that we also do this without video. So Vinz, what we're showing right now
is the remote trap vehicle from Ghostbusters Afterlife that I'm building.
Right, the one that you saw driving around and things. And you've got, it looks. What you can see also on the screen. So you basically got the trap without the top on, but then you can see the struts. I can see the wheels in the background on the picture.
I have one here.
So these are RC parts.
They're pretty big, Jesus.
Yeah.
Are these like my head?
Yeah. Are these screen matched, or did you go through and find out the exact product that they used?
Both. Ben Heaney, the prop master for Afterlife, basically shared some stuff. Some people reverse image searched and looked at all this stuff, and they found out that these were the tires. Apparently, they don't make them like these anymore, which is with the red rims. And it's like, if you look at the details, the new ones differ, and people now have 3D printed kits to make them look more accurate. I just was early enough to get the actual ones that they use, the same ones in the video, but they are expensive. Everything is expensive in this hobby. Like this is already costing me like over 500 euros just to build. Like the wheels, like 4 of them were over 90 euros, I think.
That's still, but cost wise, I think that's still reasonable. That's about what you would expect for it to be.
Well, but then you go into like stuff that you find out. Like I had, for example, plastic axles that broke because of the torque. I had a motor that was quite big, so I upgraded to a brushless motor, which gave more torque, which had to upgrade more stuff to metal. Also, the thing is, they say initially when the Afterlife came out, they say the base is a Traxxas 4x4 Stampede, like a buggy or something, like a remote control buggy. And then that's what Ben Heaney used, and he chopped it up and he made it look with the ghost trap and everything. But nowadays, I think I didn't have to buy the buggy at all because I got a new motor, I got a new receiver, I got. You can buy the parts separately, like the axles and everything. There's a 3D printable chassis that you can print nowadays. So it had been prohibitively expensive to get a Traxxas vehicle because the wheels you're gonna replace, the shocks you're gonna replace, The chassis is being replaced, so there's not much left apart from the drive gear, maybe. And those have been upgraded by myself as well. So I don't think there's anything original on that buggy that is still on my Ghost Trap at the moment, or that I could have used or couldn't have bought separately, so to say. So that's when you're an early adopter, of course. That's the price you pay for that.
Sure.
And people, of course, design more stuff. So there's this guy called Taco Belly who made the... he does a lot of stuff.
So he's the one that made my on my Ghostbusters on my Proton pack.
Yeah,
he's the one that did the which part did he do? Did he make just the outer mount or something like that? But I bought it. That's who I got it from. Was from him.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure you mentioned it in your video.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Freaky Geeky. That's the other guy.
Okay.
They're all similarly named apparently.
Taco Belly's doubling in one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and so you buy the kit and you have it printed or you print it out, and then you buy the parts, and then it's just a lot of finicking around and make sure it works. Wow. It's doable. It is quite a project. But once it's done, you'll have a fully working remote trap vehicle. So
I thought I saw you driving it around already. In fact, we showed a clip of it on the podcast.
Yeah, but it didn't have all the bells and whistles yet, so there's
I gotcha.
An order to building this thing, and I kind of went through a servo that I have to remove, which means I have to disassemble it completely again.
So does he have instructions then as well, or are you putting together an RPF thing? Or is somebody going to make something that tells everybody else how to do this in order that we can put a link down below?
No, it's like a text file that basically alludes to steps you have to do, and it's like a very, very, very expensive puzzle, so to say.
Very South
you're in
Park
charge
to
of
me.
this.
Step 1, buy components. Step 2, ? Step 3, profit.
That's exactly the way it should be. Yeah.
It's not even profit. But it's cool. Also, I have a new project that I might not have shown you guys, but a slime blower came in from Italy.
Hang on.
It's coming. Yeah. I remember.
I gotta. Hang on. Let me get onto the right window here. So again, visually, we gotta kind of. That's not it. But check that out. I like that one. I was gonna show that anyway. What does that say above it, by the way?
This kid is on the vacation.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah,
hang on. Let me get.
Thanks very much for sharing that one.
Yeah, that was an accidental, but it's still pretty great. Okay, here we go. Which I didn't realize what those actually were. So this came from Germany, or where was it that you found this?
There was a guy on Facebook from Italy who says, I'm selling my stuff. And it's not metal colored. So this is somewhere in, I don't know where in Italy. But he was selling this for rather cheap. And I'm like, hey, I don't have to buy all the parts. The parts that were missing I actually bought from Ghostbusters fans a while back. So for me, it was just a complete package, really cheap, and it's in Europe, so shipping is also not prohibitive. But the guy, from the looks of it, because he got me a lot of stuff with it, like a lot of parts that are not on the picture, and it looked like he just gave up. And I don't know, everything is really good quality. Like it looks great. He even gave me metal rings to replace the plastic ones with, and I'm now I just. This morning I painted it in metal color. Aren't
there two tubes on the sides? I can't remember.
Yeah, there's a huge tank on the back, and there are like 2 tanks on the side. But the thing is, I don't want to carry that stuff on my back. I just wanted a gun. Because the cool thing is, I bought some mods from GP Star, which are going to upgrade my Proton pack. And they will also change the LEDs in the cyclotron and in the power cell to whatever mode your wand is set to. So if I have slime mode on my wand, which is from the video game, my backpack will show green and it will make slime noises.
That's cool.
And I just checked with the guy who made the upgrade kit, and he says that there is an option that you could make your custom add-ons, let the pack know that you have just plugged in a slime blower extension, and it will immediately switch to slime mode and will do the sound effects when you press a button on that thing.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to be my next adventure, I guess.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. I mean, so I still say you're responsible, though, Vince, to put together some instructions for people. On
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm also working on the room, so as you can see, more stuff is appearing on my
cool.
shelf.
Yeah,
That's also a bit of an indicator of how far the room is.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so this is a really cool retro Lego lunchbox I got, and for the people not seeing it, it's like this 1970s, 60s, like bit of Fallout era Lego lunchbox.
Yeah,
you can't say it's the 1960s when it says perfect. I can read it perfectly. It says 2065. So
Yeah, it's the 60s.
it's not very retro.
Yeah.
No, but it's one of those VIP rewards you can get
Order
for so
things.
many points.
That's pretty cool. Like
Well,
that. I keep
So,
freezing
yeah,
up.
but people always ask me where do I get the money, but it's also trying to find the deals, of course. I mean, I don't know how much it was under €100, I believe, with shipping that the guy sent all this stuff to me. And I know for a fact that I cannot spend time and effort and money towards that amount that would give me a slime blower of that caliber.
Right.
So for me, it was a really good deal. Same with the poltergeist, the computer in a suitcase. The guy sold it for $100, and then shipping was prohibitively expensive. But then again, for that amount of money, you could not get something like that with a pedigree like that, and also with the way it looks. So it's also always, I get cool stuff, but it's also the deals that people think I'm super rich.
We mentioned that in our kind of in relation to the Pip-boy stuff, which we'll talk about in our next episode. But the if you watch and you can be patient, you can really get almost anything for a really good deal. It's the people that I've got to get this and I got to get this now, and what if I can't get it later? So those are the people that are usually going to get, going to miss out or have to pay more. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for. Yeah. I mean, you're paying for that immediate.
But also, like, save up some money and know that, for example, in a couple of months, there's going to be a big announcement for whatever brand you like. Same with the Ghostbusters upgrade kit. Like, I was doubting about it, but I still had the money that whenever the opportunity came and they released the kit, I could buy it immediately. So I save it up. So also, if you know that you're a collector of limited edition stuff or like very niche stuff, like if you're going to a swap meet or if you're going to someplace else, make sure that you have plenty of money available to yourself, just in case you find a holy grail item somewhere. I've had it happen that I had some extra money on hand at a swap meet, and I just bought a full MSX PC with everything on it for only $50. Like, took me someone to call and pick it up for me.
But I got it. Yeah. Last night, one of the big things that happened is I did purchase the Sugar Bombs version of the Pip-boy 2000.
Oh, nice.
But when I got in there, and you go into Bethesda, I've also got some that I'm watching on eBay because there's quite a few of the original kit with the box, everything else that are on sale right now. And honestly, they're selling it for less than the new ones. But let's see here if I've still got my. I went on, and the cost when it added in the shipping was more than I was willing to pay, and I went online, and this is the code that you can use in August. I put in this code: B as in boy, T as in Tom, V as in Victor, I as in I, C as in Canada, sure. And then the number 9, I put that in, and it took 20% off, which reduced my total cost, including shipping, to less than what it was posted for as just the item by itself. So I paid less in the end so I think I paid $150 for the whole thing with shipping.
That's doable.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And so I'm pretty excited about that because I'm going to be turning it into, the reason why I waited for Sugar Bombs is because it's white, which allows me to paint app it a lot easier because I'm going to turn it into a certain product that's within, and of course working, that's within that universe. And then James, what you got going on?
I got this recently. My Fallout New Vegas Collector's Edition.
The Spanish version.
The Spanish version, yep.
Yeah.
So,
which looks cool. So you're going to bust it open?
Yeah. No. It's open. It's open.
Is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, let's. Oh, wow, yeah, that looks nice.
So I've been meaning to get this for quite a while, and I'd always seen it for like €100 or even more expensive.
Oh, wow. Really?
And I saw one that was relatively well priced, and I said, "Hey, I'm tired of waiting. I'll just go for it." And
yeah,
I'm happily surprised at the quality of it. Like,
yeah,
I'd always looked at it and thought it's something that I'm interested in, but it's not super special to get. But then actually having it now, like just the chips alone, the chips are so high quality. And
wow.
Like, they feel like actual like poker chips, like something that you would use.
Yeah, it looks like, wow. Yeah, that looks great.
Apparently they used like the actual clay for the casino chips.
Is this straight out of it? And it looks just like it did on the table in New Vegas.
Yep. So
yeah, that's pretty good.
I want to get the Fallout 3 collector's edition at some point.
Because
after rewatching the Pip-boy podcast, because as we were saying, it's like a year ago.
Yeah.
I remember Vinz saying that he had the Fallout 3 collector's edition because he really liked the in-universe sort of collector stuff.
Is that the one that also? I mean, it came with more than just a bobblehead, didn't it? Didn't it come with?
It came in the lunchbox with the bobbleheads, the art book, like the mini art book, and the making of DVD.
Let me see if I can share this with you guys too. So the one that I want, the box that I saw, is the one that comes with the Pip-boy clock. It also comes with. Also has a lunchbox. And also on eBay right now, it goes for about $300. And it comes with a game.
I seem to remember the alarm clock one
and a shirt. Yeah. But I'm
happy to get the power armor helmet back then because that was also a Fallout 74 one.
Yeah.
There's this outlet here in the Netherlands that sells collector's editions that have like a slightly damaged box or whatever. And that's I got it for real cheap, so I was real happy to find that one.
I wanted the Nuka-Cola one that they had it at GameStop for GameStop. The benefit to them, including with the One Company stuff, is when they start clearing out something or when they have the end of something. They sell it regardless of how much it's worth. They sell it for next to nothing. That's why I got the car for so cheap and stuff too. But they had the Nuka-Cola helmet in the box that comes with all the pins and all this, all the stuff that came in that box. And they had it for $40.
Oh wow!
And I knew that, and I ran over there, and they're like, "Yeah, there's a little kid that came in about 10 minutes ago, and he was so happy." And I was like, yeah, I bet he would. Where did this kid go?
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, that's pretty cool.
I didn't see any kid.
Yeah.
He's slowly pushing it with his foot against the door.
I could take him. Well, I would say if you're a ghost head or you're a person that's interested in some of these things, I mean, make sure and check out a couple of good sources. One is the RPF that I brought up a couple times, the Replica Prop Forum. We have our own stuff that's on there too, but it's pretty easy to type in some different props and get instructions on there. Vince, you're also you've got some stuff on another site that's like RPF. The HACKADAY is another good one. And then, of course, there's the Ghostbusters forum and Ghostbusters news forum that are really good. These are great resources that are out there. But if you have something yourself that you want to share with us, we had a few Ghostbuster fans that shared some of their builds and things. We want to see more of that stuff. I mean, we're getting closer to October now, too, and December, which is actually more for me, has always been the Ghostbusters time of year. But at the same time, if you have stuff to share, be sure to share it. And a quick reminder that I'm going to do for each of these episodes is also, in case you didn't know, we also had a challenge for someone to build a retractable lightsaber. And in November, anyone that's built something like that by November, we want you to submit that to us. Again, you can win a $100 gift card from Amazon. Plus, you'll get to see it on here. We'd love to see it and talk about it. So kind of keep that in mind, too. Just want to remind everybody that's still out there. Nobody's applied yet, even though I know that there's some that are out there. So keep these things in mind.
If you've enjoyed this podcast and want more, stay tuned for that, but also check out our channel, join the community on YouTube that goes by the same name, your Geek Fix. Be sure to check out Vinz on Twitter at massivedmg_ and on his YouTube channel, massivedmg. Check out James at Mr. Malto4 on Instagram and the Replica Prop Forum. We also want to hear from you, so be sure to send your questions, stories, and other projects to yourgeekfix@gmail.com. In the meantime, this has been your Geek Fix.